Well, believe it or not, things have changed in a good way for Vanderbilt the past couple years, but this season the Commodores are reaching some new heights when it comes to college football. Heading to Tuscaloosa with a 5-0 record, perfect on the season, no longer viewed as the underdog in the SEC, but we remember what happened last year when they faced, of course, the Roll Tide, 40-35 in Nashville over Bama for the program's first ever win against a top 5 program. But take a look at it. I mentioned this year, every coach would tell you it's not about the past, it's about what you can do now. So far, 5-0, as I mentioned, the first time since 2008. Seeking their first 6-0 start since 1928. And Zach, I don't know, we haven't been alive since then, but hey, you never know. Looking to beat Alabama, though, back-to-back years since 1955-56. So we'll see if that happens on Saturday. Well, it's only right we have the leader of the clubhouse here with us here on HQ in the Morning Buzz and coach of Vanderbilt there, Clark Lee. Appreciate your time. And I know you're busy. It's Thursday, getting ready for Saturday. But before we get into that matchup, I want to tip the cap to you and Barton Simmons, our guy, for transforming this program to what we've seen the past couple of years. But what have you noticed about this year's team and their success at this 5-0 mark?
Well, it's just, it's like compounded investment. We've kind of methodically built this thing and poured foundation, and we've had to course correct a couple times here and alter the blueprint a little bit. But the bones of what we set out to do not only remain, but I think are kind of giving us the launching pad we have right now. And that's just about how we care for one another. We'd say relatedness is our edge in our program, but that foundation has, and then our course correction through the transfer portal and NIL has positioned us to have a team right now that it's not just about being competitive. A year ago it was about winning games at close margins and trying to get into a competitive fourth quarter. We've built upon that and now have a team that I think is pretty tough for all 4 quarters, and we've had a chance here early on to separate from our competition in the game. So we have a different competitive mindset. I can draw that string all the way back to Team 1 and just, again, those years of methodically building. This group benefits from that, and we're trying to take it to another level.
But for me, I'm just curious, just to be competitive in the SEC, and I want to, douse that as much as we can, because that is a tough thing to do. We see other schools as well within the conference. For you, what are maybe 2 or 3 key things that have worked so well for you guys this year?
Well, we're playing really well at the quarterback position, and Diego Pavia deserves all the attention and credit that he gets. I mean, he is a difference maker. There's only a handful of guys that can take a game over, and we're fortunate to have one of those taking the snaps for us. He also is a chip on the shoulder guy. He's a guy that's had to prove it his entire life, and that's the kind of program we are. We say we're a team of misfits here, and so he fits in perfectly to that. It starts with them. I think we played better in our offensive line this season, giving him time and space. We've surrounded him through development and through the transfer portal with weapons that, when he gets the ball out in space, we have guys that know what to do with it. And so we're clicking on all cylinders offensively. Defensively, we've been among the nation's best in our havoc rate, and we played really well on that side of the ball too. Same kind of thing. We have identity. It's 11 guys on the same page. Guys like Randon Fontenette and Corday Sidnor and Langston Patterson leading the way for us. Colby Taylor at corner and Marlon Sewell at safety. And we have a group of guys, and it's a blend between guys that have been retained over 4 and 5 years, and again, guys that have come in the last 2 years that give us the balance to both have that nucleus of foundation and of character, and the guys that come in get aligned with who we are and what we do, and we're having success. And you can't tie it all together without talking about special teams. This has got to be a 3-phase operation for us. And so right now, we've kind of hit our marks in all 3 phases. Obviously, as we get into the SEC schedule, it only gets harder, but I'm proud of the way we played, and we've made the focus about us. This is about what Vanderbilt football can do, what we bring to the table, a focus on our execution, our tactics, our systems. That's what's been able to deliver us to this point. That's what will be our internal conversation moving forward.
You shared there about going into the portal a couple years ago. You go get a guy from New Mexico State, and Diego, as you mentioned, your star quarterback. We see him on the field. He has the passion, competition there. He loves it. Family guy. Just give us some ins and outs about your QB1. What makes him so special?
Well, he's probably the most connected person in our building. So he builds relationships in the quiet corners of the buildings. He cares about his teammates. I mean, he takes time with each and every one of them. I just was with him this morning, or passed him in the hallway this morning, and he's talking to one of our reserve tight ends while a reserve offensive tackle is coming out of the training room, and he's giving him five and saying what's up to him. And then he and I are hanging out and talking. It's just, that's who he is. It's very natural. It's very authentic. Beyond that, he's maniacally competitive. And so he expects and demands an attitude from his teammates that it comes very natural to some of them, and for others, it's kind of elevated the way they perform day in, day out. And we focus on these 12 opportunities in the fall, but your team's really built over literally the 365 days of the year. So when you have this kind of attitude and this kind of approach day in, day out, starting in January, over time you amplify, or you aggregate into a team that, again, is competitive, is tough, and follows the lead of the guy taking the snaps. So a lot to be said about him, who he is as a person, but the biggest compliment I can pay Diego is he backs everything up with his process. He is as curious and as detail-oriented as any player I've been around, and he takes the time to see and spend time with every person connected with our program, including my children. My children feel like they have an older brother, and as a coach, that means more to me than anything. So really good person, excellent player, very happy to have him with us.
We see all the numbers here, top 10 when it comes to the country, and what QB1 has done here in Diego. I'm curious, he's going to take all those numbers with him to Alabama, top 20 matchup, and everybody is going to refer to what happened last season, but I've heard coaches speak before. That's last year. We're talking about the future. What have you seen in Alabama this year, and what needs to happen for your group on Saturday?
Well, this is a different Alabama team. That was a good team we played a year ago. And by the way, we haven't talked at all about, that last year's result. Like you said, it's a totally different matchup, two totally different teams in my estimation. And, that Alabama team's talented. They're well coached. I think they challenge you, again, in all three phases, not only with their skill, but with their tactics too. So we got our work cut out for us. Both offenses operate pretty methodically. So, as you look to defend them, obviously they can get in the end zone in one snap, and if you don't tackle well, if you don't suffocate space around the ball, they'll do that. But what they've shown to this point this season is they're patient, and they're gonna control the game through trying to control the clock. Well, we have a very similar approach, and so I believe that you're going to start to look at the margins for the game being in third down performance and red zone performance. Which team does a better job getting off the field, which team does a better job sustaining drives, and how do we play at the ends of the field in the red zone where we finish drives out on both sides of the ball. I think that becomes a big part of the outcome of the game. And they have not turned the ball over this season, so we have to look for ways to create extra possessions. Obviously, in a game that has the potential to come down to the tight margins, protecting the ball will be of the utmost importance on our side. But it's a great matchup. We're excited for the game. We believe in our team. This is about Vanderbilt football for us, how we play, the attitude we bring, the energy we bring. Obviously, we need to operate well to eliminate the crowd being a part of the game. But we played in tough environments, and we positioned ourselves for this stage, and so we're going to go enjoy it.
You mentioned there the belief that you have in your group, and you know them better than us, so obviously, and based on how this team is built and how they're able to compete every Saturday up to this point, and when you look at that schedule, what are your expectations of this group this year?
Well, we talk early, in January, and we talked about, setting a course to play through January. I mean, that's how we talk, and it's not always understood externally, with respect to the goals we have, the goals we carry with us. But I don't want to be a part of anything that doesn't aim at performance at the highest level. And what it allows us to do when you set your goals really high, it allows you to then shift your focus really day in, day out, week in, week out. So the expectation is that we go and play our best game on Saturday. We're going to have a bye week coming up after this, which we'll need. This will be our 6th consecutive week to start the season, which is a tough opening stretch. And to finish that 6th game in Tuscaloosa is especially challenging. But We're going to do our best this Saturday to play at our highest level. If we do that, we feel like we can keep the result within our reach. From there, we're going to get rested up on a bye week and take aim at what's next.
Of course, that starts Saturday with Bama at 3:30 Eastern. Coach, before I let you go, you got to give me one Barton Simmons story, one of our old pals. I know you guys have been friends since 7th grade. You got to give me one.
Well, listen, I would be violating a trust that we have made. I mean, you're talking about my best friend since 7th grade. So we all those wayward years where you're trying to find yourself and you're doing the dumb things. Barton and I hold each other's stories, and they're behind. They're in a safe behind a lock and key. So I will tell you that he's well fed here. He slinks around this office all the time. With different food. I don't know where he gets his food from, but he's always eating. And what a great guy, and honestly, what a great part of this story too. I mean, I think in taking this job, I had to learn how to be a head coach. We had so many new people that were coming into new roles that had to evolve along with the program, and I see Barton as one of those. We brought him from a media perspective, although he had such a depth of understanding of recruiting, and we had connected professionally so much on evaluation, but he's strengthened as a leader in that scouting and recruiting operation, and the product on the field is a direct reflection of his growth, his investment, his belief, and what the right fits are at Vanderbilt, and what a great partner for me to have. I can't say enough about my buddy Barton.
Yeah, Coach, he hit the portal and left us, and he's there with you. So obviously a lot more successful with you guys at 5-0 this year. Hey, look, all the best in the world this Saturday as well the rest of the season. Appreciate your time as always. Take care.
Thanks. Good to be with you.
Absolutely. Don't forget, college football is around the corner on Saturday. We'll see you on YouTube. We'll have stuff for you there. All you got to do is subscribe, use that QR code. It's week 4. It feels like, man, it's already, season almost halfway over.
Before you know it, we'll be crowning a champion.
Before you know it, it'll be June 1st. I'm just saying, just remember that. Here it is in October.